Today's Metro News television forecast is brought to you by Salango Law. Get results, not excuses.
Well, we are much drier and quieter in the forecast now. Still be mindful of some of the after effects of yesterday's very active and stormy day. Seeing some river flooding that's going on. Some stretches locally of the West Fork and Little Kanawha rivers. Minor flood stage in the forecast there. Flood warnings are out as a result. And all those yellow dots, those were preliminary severe storm reports of either damaging winds or severe level wind gusts. We had severe thunderstorms and heavy rain on top of saturated and compromised ground, so it may have uprooted some large trees potentially yesterday. Today, a couple of isolated showers with all the, and we had a day with multiple flash flood warnings through the day that impacted the state. Nothing like that today, but with all the moisture in there, in the ground and in the air, some dense fog is possible for the next couple of mornings. Flies here before forecast. It starts at home. Tampa 89, areas of Florida. I'll be watching for chances of some heavy rain here today and heading into the weekend. From Panhandle to Panhandle, dry today and fair weather. Highs in the 70s and lows upper 40s to near 50. Eastern areas, dry as well, mostly sunny. A very small potential of an isolated shower, but no risks of flooding or flash flooding, nothing like that today. Lows in the 40s to near 50. From east to west, again, be mindful of any impacts from some of the flash flood warnings yesterday. Be mindful of any river flooding, minor flood stage today. Lows in the 40s, and to the south, dry. Be mindful of some areas of dense fog this morning and again tonight. Morning fog and then partly cloudy in Charleston. For your forecast, one very small potential of showers later next week. We're mostly dry for a while. Fair weather for the weekend, 81 on Friday and near 80 for Saturday and Sunday here in Charleston, and lows in the 50s, so we'll have high pressure weather. Stick around for a while.
This is Ben Salango with Salango Law. Salango Law has earned a reputation for getting excellent results for our clients. With decades of experience handling thousands of cases, we know what it takes to deliver. Proudly voted Best in the Valley for 3 consecutive years by readers of the Charleston Gazette-Mail, Salango Law is deeply committed to giving back by investing in our community. From supporting local programs to making our region a better place to live, Salango Law is proud to be your trusted legal and community partner. Check us out at salangolaw.com.
Coming up, Metro News Talkline this morning, we'll get an update on the high school softball state tournament. A new hire at WVU comes to Morgantown with some baggage. Hoppy stops by, and counties are struggling to pay their jail bills. It's Metro News Talkline, and we are underway.
Do not attempt to change the station. You are surrounded. We interrupt this program to bring you an emergency news bulletin. Repeat, this is an emergency bulletin. Keep your radio turned on.
From the studios of WVRC Media and the Metro News Radio and Television Network, the voice of West Virginia, comes the most powerful show in West Virginia. This is Metro News Talkline with Dave Wilson and TJ Meadows.
Check set lineup link. Activated Telos telephone. Switch network control from Charleston to Morgantown.
Stand by. Q Dave and TJ. You're on. Metro News Talkline is presented by Encova Insurance, encircling you with coverage to protect what you care about most. Visit Encova.com to learn more.
Good morning. Welcome inside the Encova Insurance Studios. Dave Wilson of Morgantown. TJ Meadows at an undisclosed location, taking some time off to relax. I think we're all in agreement. There's probably a tee box somewhere nearby. He'll be back on Monday. As for the time being, you're stuck with me. 800-765-TALK is the phone number. 800-765-8255. Text line is 304-TALK-304. We appreciate you being part of the show on one of our great radio affiliates across the state of West Virginia, or if you are watching on the Metro News TV app, Facebook Live, and YouTube. We also appreciate that. Jake Link, our video producer this morning, as always, and Ethan Collins handles the audio side of things. Coming up a little bit, Hoppy stops by. Got a couple of things to talk to Hop about. Brad McElhinny has a story over at WVMetroNews.com this morning about the new chief financial officer at WVU. He comes to West Virginia from Ohio State, where he was singled out in a report concerning the former president at Ohio State who misused his office for personal gain. We'll get into all of that with Brad in the second hour coming up on Metro News Talkline this morning. But first, for the last, couple of weeks now since the May 12th primary election, I have insisted, I have asserted, I have claimed that if I were Mike Pushkin, the chair of the state Democrat Party, I would be feeling pretty good, dare I even say optimistic, about the Democrat Party's chances to make significant gains in November in state legislative races. That's what I have said I would feel if I were Mike Pushkin. Let's ask the real Mike Pushkin this morning. The state Democrat Party chair, Kanawha County delegate Mike Pushkin, joins us from the Encova Insurance Studios in Charleston. Mike, good morning.
Good morning, and I have to say, you are correct. That's exactly how
you're
I feel.
optimistic.
I feel good. I am optimistic, and that is because we had some real results to look at on May 12th. I mean, there's a lot of polling. There's a lot of editorializing that goes on, but leading up to an election. But you have an election; those are real numbers, and those real numbers looked pretty good. We are cautiously optimistic as West Virginia Democrats right now.
So, what numbers in particular stood out to you, and what were your takeaways?
Well, I'll start with the voter turnout numbers. Well, overall, I think it was 21%, which is low, but it's about. However, unfortunately, that's par for the course for a midterm primary, as in the low 20s. But if you break down those numbers, look inside those numbers, the Democratic turnout in West Virginia was around 37%, while the Republican turnout was in the low 20s, which shows the enthusiasm is on our side. And that has I think that part of it has very little to do with the Republicans closing their primary. We don't have those numbers yet of how many independents requested Democratic ballots, but we think those are going to be high as well. I think we don't get those numbers until July. But our folks turned out, and the results speak for themselves. Where the folks that we felt were the best for the job for the Supreme Court won. I think it's safe to say we now have a very new majority on the Supreme Court, which I feel will be favorable towards working West Virginians, and that's great news. And the other nonpartisan judicial race, we had a registered Democrat, and Jim Douglas, who was running against a registered Republican, and Dan Greer. And, Judge Douglas did not hide the fact that he was a Democrat, in fact, ran on it. Talked about being pro-choice and for childhood immunizations, and he won, and it wasn't particularly close.
Mike, I know we won't get those numbers to July until June or July about how many independents chose Democrat ballots. My gut tells me there was a significant number of independent, unaffiliated voters, whatever you want to call them, for whatever reason. Everybody gets to choose, but they were disenfranchised. They were told by Republicans, we don't want you to participate in our primary. And they said, fine and dandy, we'll participate over here. I think we're going to see a significant number of those voters who have participated on the Democrat primary ticket. What are your thoughts?
I feel the same way. We'll know soon enough, but I also have a hunch that a lot of those folks are going to vote the same way in the fall, because they're not going to forget being kicked out of the Republican primary. And we'll stick with our candidates in the fall. And the good news is we gave them choices on our side, too, which took a lot of hard work, a lot of organizing amongst our county committees and our volunteers all over the state. And we had a lot of great candidates that stepped up and put their names on the ballot. We had contested primaries at the top of the ticket, even in a lot of our legislative races where we had contested primaries, and there was excitement on our side. And I feel a lot of these voters who chose those independent and unaffiliated voters that went in and asked for a Democratic ballot, a lot of them are going to be sticking with us in the fall, and I like our chances in a lot of these races.
How do you make certain, I guess you can't make certain, Mike, but how do you recruit and do your best to make certain those voters you're talking about do stick with the Democrat Party in the fall?
Well, we have. I think I've always felt our best messengers are our candidates, and the good news is we have great candidates. But to keep those, work with our candidates to make sure that they keep voters engaged. We will get out there and try to keep voters engaged as well. Voter registration drives, and showing up and meeting people where they are, and listening to them about what is driving them right now. And unfortunately, I think a lot of people are very upset about things that are going on. I think people feel that the state and the country as a whole is on the wrong track. When you look at gas prices, they're going to continue to go up all summer due to a war of choice that we were told was going to be over in 2 weeks, and now we're going on 3 months. I think 3 months today. over in Iran, which is causing those gas prices to go up. Or if you see some of the corruption going on at the state level, where we see lawmakers tied directly to these data centers that nobody seems to want in their backyard. There's a lot of things that people are upset about. I think that that's why the enthusiasm is on the Democratic side right now. And like I said, I think we're gonna pull off some upsets.
You brought up the judicial races. You touched on it briefly. Is that an indication to you that the pendulum is shifting? Is that an indication that folks don't like the chief executive, and if you're associated with him, they're going to go another direction? What do you make of those results?
Yeah, I mean, those are the only real numbers we have right now. Those are the races that were on everybody's ballot, whether you're voting on a Republican ticket, a nonpartisan ticket, or a Democratic ballot on May 12th. Those are the races everybody got to vote for, and the results speak for themselves with the election of Bill Flanagan and Kirkpatrick to the Supreme Court. That changes the majority of the Supreme Court. I feel we took back one branch of government this month. So one down, two to go. And then, I really look at that intermediate court race where you had a registered Democrat who made no bones about it. He did not hide the fact that he's a registered Democrat. And when I was out there on the stump, talked about being pro-choice and pro-vaccine every chance he got. And that race wasn't even close.
And Mike, there are GOP strategists who would absolutely agree with what you just said there. So
I've heard them on the show. I've been waiting for my turn to come on and agree with these folks like Greg Thomas that are saying, they were not paying attention at all to these judicial races, and we took back a branch of government, and that's not too bad. So
we're talking to Mike Pushkin. He is a state Democrat Party chair. Define success in November, Mike. I'm certain you are confident. You're the head of the Democrat Party. You got to believe you can win. Democratic. Thank you. My apologies. Democratic Party. You're like a football coach. You got to believe you can win every game. You got to believe you can win every contest. But what does success look like in November?
Gaining seats. Winning wherever we can, and I believe we're going to win in a couple places where people haven't thought we could in quite some time. I think it's progress is what winning looks like. And what winning looks like is a better government that works for the people of West Virginia, because that's why we're all in this. I don't think of it as a football game, or a basketball game. Go Knicks, by the way. I had to get that in there. I'm a long-suffering Knicks fan.
Oh, yeah.
We're not suffering right now. But no, it's about getting better people in place to make better decisions on behalf of West Virginians to help better the lives of our friends and neighbors here. And that's what success looks like, getting better people in office. And I feel that we have a great chance to do that this fall.
Talking to Mike Pushkin. He is a state Democratic Party chair. If I may ask you to switch your metaphorical hats, put the delegate hat back on for just a second. What's the deal with TANF funding? Do we have a deficit? Does it need to be cut? It seems like there's still some desire to reach out to Star Academies and use some funds there to pay for those. It seems to me, Mike, there are a lot more questions than answers right now. What's your assessment?
Well, this was all sprung on us as the legislature. Even when you're hearing that from the chair of House Finance, the same thing. Yeah, there are more questions than answers, and I think the executive branch owes, or the governor, I'm going to say the governor owes us more information on that and more answers to these questions, because this didn't come up during the regular session when we were voting on the budget.
He is Mike Pushkin, Kanawha County delegate. He's also the West Virginia Democratic Party chair, and we have confirmed this morning he is feeling good about November. Mike, we appreciate you coming by. We'll talk again later this summer, buddy.
Hey, thanks for having me on.
Absolutely. Take a break. When we come back, we'll get an update from the high school softball state tournament going on in South Charleston. We'll talk to Daniel Woods in a moment.
Tens of thousands of hardworking West Virginians earn their living in our state's growing natural gas industry, including thousands for Antero Resources, West Virginia's top natural gas producer. Antero's investments are boosting our local workforce and small businesses. We're proud to give back and invest locally to support West Virginia workers producing West Virginia energy. But the Mountain State's best days are ahead, and Antero Resources is just getting started. Visit AnteroResources.com to learn more.
Are you ready to reach the finish line of retirement? At the Stike team at Wealth Enhancement Group, we provide comprehensive guidance for retirement planning in West Virginia. With years of experience, we'll draft a plan tailored for your unique goals. Whether you're just starting or nearing retirement, we make the process as simple as possible, easy, and stress-free. Visit wealthenhancement.com/Stike to set up a complimentary consultation and get started on your plan today. Let's work toward your dream retirement together.
You're listening to Talkline on Metro News, the voice of West Virginia.
Leading the efforts to build a stronger West Virginia, the High Technology Foundation has a proven plan to strengthen and diversify our state's economy. The I-79 Technology Park's high-capacity infrastructure continues to attract advanced federal operations that are driving economic growth. This keeps our young, educated residents in the state and brings West Virginians home. The High Technology Foundation, building a stronger West Virginia. Learn more today at WVHTF.org.
Sunshine, open roads, and a new Toyota from Dan Cava Toyota World. Lease an all-new Camry for as low as $398 a month. All new Tundras now up to $8,000 off. All new Tacomas now up to $4,500 off or lease as low as $399 a month. $7,500 off the new BZ or 0% financing for 72 months. We've got a Toyota for you at Dan Cava Toyota World in Fairmont. Shop the world.
5, 3.
For your daily fix of sports in West Virginia, there's only one stop.
I would imagine a group of you got together and watched the Mountaineers last night. What were your thoughts on that performance?
It was funny, we were sitting with a guy last night, and he said, all right, I'm going to go put $1,000 on it. Well, down the stretch of that ball game, he's looking at us like, are you kidding me? And sure enough, the Mountaineers came back. I saw him today. He said, yep, I'm putting another $1,000 on them tomorrow.
Sportsline on Metro News Television.
You own a boat because you love spending time on the water. Choose the outboard that allows you to make the most of it. Honda Marine's legendary reliability, ease of maintenance, and powerful performance keep you going strong. And they're all backed by the peace of mind protection of the industry's best limited warranty. Visit your Honda Marine dealer today and find out why it's more than an engine. It's your time on the water.
MetroNews Talkline is presented by Encova Insurance, encircling you with coverage to protect what you care about most. Visit Encova.com to learn more.
Just a couple of thoughts. We'll get to Daniel Woods covering the high school softball state tournament in South Charleston. Don't misinterpret optimism for Democrats taking a majority anytime soon. I don't think that is happening anytime soon. Crazy things have happened, but if you're the Democratic Party in West Virginia, you've got 2 senators, you've got 9 members in the House of Delegates, and like Mike Pushkin said, any gains, that is a step in the right direction. And I agree with Mike, and I agree with several strategists whom I speak to on a regular basis, that Democrats have an opportunity in November to not just pick up 1 or 2, but multiple seats and maybe surprise a few people, or at least pick up some seats in places we're not expecting. I believe that. I've told you, I think there are 5. I think there's a potential to pick up 5 seats in the Senate, or at least win 5 seats in the Senate. And I think it's very possible to double the numbers in the House. Now, does that threaten the supermajorities? No. Doesn't even come close to threatening a Republican majority. But any gains, Democrats haven't made gains in the legislature in a decade or better. So any gains at this point, and if I'm Mike Pushkin, like he said, I would be feeling good too. Coming off of a primary in which you have disenfranchised, unaffiliated voters who made their voices heard. I think you look at that judiciary race. We've talked about it over and over. You take the numbers there. You look in the 8th Senate District, for instance, the Ann Sharnock district there. That race, there were more Democrats that came out and voted in the primary together than voted in the Republican ticket by about 1,000. So if you just get the same voters out in November that you got in May, there's a race that you can win in the 8th Senate District. And again, I think there are several. 1, 13, 8 all come to mind. 5 is in play. All possible pickups for the Democrats. So Mike Pushkin has good reason to be feeling good heading into the general election. The state high school softball tournament continues in Little Creek Park in South Charleston. There was a marathon game last night with an improbable comeback, an elimination game going on right now, a couple of elimination games. Daniel Woods, Metro News Sports, is in South Charleston. He joins us on Metro News Talkline. Daniel, good morning. Set the scene for us, please.
Good morning. It is a lot drier and a lot warmer than it was yesterday here at Little Creek Park. If you've not been here to the Rock Athletic Complex in South Charleston, you're missing out. You've got two very well-kept, very well-put-together softball fields, turf softball fields that abut right up to one another, and that is the site of the state championship softball tournament going on right now. Class AA and Class Single A this week, AAA and Quad A next week. As you mentioned, we are into our first elimination games because we only got 4 of the scheduled 6 games in for each bracket yesterday because of the weather that we were dealing with here. The fine folks at the National Weather Service say we should be pretty clear for the rest of the week. Can try to get 7 games in each class today before we call it an evening later tonight.
Daniel, you were on the call along with Luke Wiggs last night for Lincoln and Petersburg, a game that took over 4 hours to complete, multiple weather delays, and an improbable comeback by the Vikings.
You're right. That's the number 2 seed Petersburg against the number 7 seed Lincoln. And that Lincoln team, I tell you what, for a bunch of girls that were playing the defending state runner-up in Petersburg, Lincoln came out, showed absolutely no fear, and frankly took advantage of the elements. They came to bat as the rain was starting to pick up. It became very difficult for Petersburg, who went through 3 pitchers in that game. Became very difficult for Petersburg's pitchers to grip the ball, and Lincoln turned it into a big inning. They took a 9-0 lead, and they were ahead 12-4 when we went into our second lightning delay of the day. And for whatever happened during that stretch, it sparked Petersburg. They scored 10 unanswered runs when we came out of that lightning delay to win 14-12. Ella Chu hit the longest ball that we saw all day, a 2-run home run that really sparked them offensively. She drove in the go-ahead run with a double later on. Like you said, over 4 hours to complete. I think we decided there were 4 weather delays, including a lightning delay that went for about an hour. But Petersburg is on in the winner's bracket, and Lincoln is getting ready to play here momentarily in an elimination game against Independence.
All right, what do we got going on right now? 2 elimination games. I know Weir is down to Midland Trail at this moment, if I'm not mistaken.
You are correct. I am standing at the top of the bleachers overlooking that field now. It is 7-0 Midland Trail, the number 8 seed, trying to eliminate 4th-seeded Weir right now. There is 1 out in the top of the 7th in that game with Trail at the plate and a runner in scoring position and a runner that's going to hold up at third on that play. And then on the Class A field, where you can hear play-by-play coverage from the Freds Persinger all week, it is East Hardy and Pendleton County in an elimination game, and Pendleton County has the lead in that matchup.
So how are you making up time? But just adding 2 more games today, lengthening the schedule, how do they make up for the games that got postponed from last night?
Well, there was initially supposed to be a session break after the first 4 games. The schedule, if everything goes to plan, is 6 games on Wednesday, 6 games on Thursday, 3 games at the most on Friday. Now we are in a situation where you would normally play 4 games, have a session break, play the last 2 games in the evening. Instead, we are going to play 7 games straight through, no breaks, nonstop softball here in South Charleston.
All right, what are you on the call for today?
I will be on the call for several games, but first up is the elimination game coming up next in Class AA, which is Independence and Lincoln. And I will tell you what, those are 2 teams that may feel like they got shorted a little bit last night because both of them lost in come-from-behind fashion. Independence beaten by Sissonville after Sissonville scored 3 runs in the bottom of the 6th and then got 3 outs in the 7th. And Lincoln, obviously, on the wrong side of that 9-run comeback by Petersburg.
Is there any Manny Sanguillen barbecue available?
There just might be. We'll have to keep an eye out for what's going on beyond the outfield fence.
Metro News Sports, Daniel Woods. He is at the high school softball state tournament, Little Creek Park in South Charleston. Exclusive radio play-by-play coverage at WVMetroNews.com. And, of course, we've got highlights, recaps, and all of the results posted at the website as well, courtesy of Joe Bricato and Greg Carey. Daniel, appreciate the update. Thank you, buddy.
Thank you.
Daniel was using the Manny Sanguillen barbecue reference last night when the fog was rolling in. The fog rolls into that park when you get the humidity and the storms coming in, and that was Daniel's description that the Manny Sanguillen barbecue had been fired up and the smoke was rolling in. 304-TALK, 304 is the text line, 800-765-8255. Northern Dave and Sharnock is running for the unexpired term in the 17th, not the 8th. My apologies, and thank you for correcting me. I got my Kanawha County senatorial districts mixed up there. The 8th district is, that would be Lance Wheeler, and the Democrat escapes me. Hundley? Does that ring a bell? Does that sound right, Jake? Kim Hundley, perhaps? That's the 8th district. The 17th, that's Tom Takubo and Sharnock there. Takubo, his seat was up. Sharnock running for that unexpired term. But nonetheless, my point remains the same, and thank you to the texter, that the 17th is up for grabs. That's one of the 5. It's one of the 5 there. 800-765-TALK, 304-TALK, 304, the text line. Hoppy will join us next. West Virginia needs more people, says Kercheval. We'll talk to him. Brad McElhinny coming up in the second hour, and counties are struggling to pay their jail bills. Still to come. This is Talkline on Metro News. For 40 years, the voice of West Virginia. It is 10:30. Time to get a news update. Let's check in with the Metro News Radio Network. Find out what's happening across the great state of West Virginia.
Today's Metro News television forecast is brought to you by Salango Law. Get results, not excuses.
Well, we are much drier and quieter in the forecast now. Still be mindful of some of the after effects of yesterday's very active and stormy day. Seeing some river flooding that's going on. Some stretches locally of the West Fork and Little Kanawha rivers. Minor flood stage in the forecast there. Flood warnings are out as a result. And all those yellow dots, those were preliminary severe storm reports of either damaging winds or severe level wind gusts. So we had severe thunderstorms and heavy rain on top of saturated and compromised ground, so it may have uprooted some large trees potentially yesterday. Today, a couple of isolated showers with all the, and we had a day with multiple flash flood warnings through the day that impacted the state. Nothing like that today, but with all the moisture in there, in the ground and in the air, some dense fog is possible for the next couple of mornings. Flies here by forecast, it starts at home. Tampa 89, areas of Florida. I'll be watching for chances of some heavy rain here today and heading into the weekend. From Panhandle to Panhandle, dry today and fair weather. Highs in the 70s and lows upper 40s to near 50. Eastern areas, dry as well, mostly sunny. A very small potential of an isolated shower, but no risks of flooding or flash flooding, nothing like that today. Lows in the 40s to near 50. From east to west, again, be mindful of any impacts from some of the flash flood warnings yesterday. Be mindful of any river flooding, minor flood stage today. Lows in the 40s, and to the south, dry. Be mindful of some areas of dense fog this morning and again tonight. Morning fog and then partly cloudy in Charleston. For your forecast, one very small potential of showers later next week. We're mostly dry for a while. Fair weather for the weekend, 81 on Friday and near 80 for Saturday and Sunday here in Charleston, and lows in the 50s, so we'll have high pressure weather. Stick around for a while.
This is Ben Salango with Salango Law. Salango Law has earned a reputation for getting excellent results for our clients. With decades of experience handling thousands of cases, we know what it takes to deliver. Proudly voted Best in the Valley for 3 consecutive years by readers of the Charleston Gazette-Mail, Salango Law is deeply committed to giving back by investing in our community. From supporting local programs to making our region a better place to live, Salango Law is proud to be your trusted legal and community partner. Check us out at salangolaw.com.
On the next State of Minds.
I think if it wasn't for West Virginia, I wouldn't be doing what I'm doing. Rhine has been rising over Seneca Rocks for millions of years. I wanted to capture it in a way that was authentic and maybe different than people have ever seen it before.
Talkline continues in Cove Insurance Studios. TJ taking some time off near a green, I'm sure. 800-765-TALK is the phone number, 800-765-8255. You can text the show, 304-TALK, 304 is the text line. Hoppy Kercheval joins us in the Encova Insurance Studios. Hoppy's commentary over at WVMetroNews.com this week. West Virginia needs more West Virginians. Okay, I'm on board with that. What's up,
You go with that?
Yeah.
We need more people that, Dave, when you meet somebody and they're not from here and you start talking to them and they say, I'm not from here, but I got here as soon as I could, and which is a nice, passionate way to talk about our state. And we need more people like that. And I was looking at a piece by Sean O'Leary, the West Virginia Center on Budget and Policy, and he's a senior analyst with them. And he looked at, I've followed these census figures over the years, and he did a good breakdown of the most recent census figures, and we continue to lose population, down about 1.5% over the last 5 years. So we're 1.7 million something. We peaked at about 2 million in 1960, and we've been on this steady decline for a variety of reasons. One is we have more deaths than births. That's one big demographic reason. The other is we don't have a lot of net migration. We don't have a lot of people moving here. There are exceptions to that. Think of the Eastern Panhandle, Berkeley County in particular, which is the fastest growing county. Monongalia County, where we're located, that's a growing county. But most of the counties in West Virginia do not have net migration, do not have growth. And some West Virginians will say, okay, good, we don't want it to be crowded. We don't want those people moving into the state. But the research shows over and over and over again that population growth is linked to economic growth. And economic growth is linked to population growth. And it's a bit of a conundrum, which comes first, the chicken or the egg. But West Virginia needs more people to come here, but they also need more economic development. So, and economic development looks to locate where there are people that can work. So which happens first? So the bottom line is, and I think that House Speaker Roger Hanshaw and his team did a good job of this in the last session, was to try to pass legislation to try to lay more of a framework, more of a baseline to make it easier to do business in West Virginia and for businesses to locate and expand here. And if you do those things, then hopefully the people will follow.
The one key piece of that, and TJ and I talked a lot about it during the session, was that the Team West Virginia concept, based off the Jobs Ohio program, to go out and get these businesses, to get these companies to come here, because it's kind of a domino effect, right? Once one company locates, and then you get others go, whoa, why did they go there? What is attractive? And then you start to get the other interests. That I thought was a key. I hope it comes back this January, and I hope they keep bringing it back until they get it through, because I think that's a key piece to what you're talking about, to bring in whatever the corporations are, whatever the businesses are that are also going to draw the people, because I won't say all of our problems, but a lot of our problems can be solved with more people here in West Virginia paying into the pot so we can fund schools and roads and all the things we talk about that are underfunded all the time.
Yeah, you're exactly right. And look, there are challenges associated with growth, and Berkeley County officials will tell you about that. But also there's benefits. I mean, people moving in, people are buying things, people are paying taxes. And you look at, Berkeley County has a couple things going for it, and we single that out because it's the fastest growing county. One is it's on the I-81 corridor, which is a very busy corridor. It's there's a major rail system through there, major railroad through there. It's very close to the greater D.C. Metroplex. It has flat land. It's just over the mountain from fast-growing Loudoun County. So there's just a lot of things that are benefiting a place like Berkeley County. You can't always recreate that, right? Because the biggest challenges in West Virginia are where? Southern West Virginia, right? And they are not growing. In fact, they're losing population. Here's another factor, Dave, is that we have an older and sicker population. When we talk about more deaths than births, the lifespan in West Virginia for men and women is 15 to 16 years less than it is in Hawaii, which is the healthiest state. 15 to 16 years. So somebody might live to be 65 in West Virginia, and they live to be 80 in Hawaii. So we have that issue confronts us as well.
Just one more point, Hop, about the economic growth. Look at the benefit. Mason County jumps to mind.
Yeah.
They're benefiting from Nucor.
Yes.
They were able to let their excess levy to fund their fire departments expire because they don't need it anymore. because they got Nucor.
Yeah.
So there's an example. And I can understand why I would live longer in Hawaii, by the way. Just throwing that out there.
You know, but Dave, that's an excellent point about Mason County. And you look at like Doddridge County, which had that natural gas.
Oh, yeah.
You know, what's happened there. And those things feed on themselves. It's just hard sometimes to get traction. But because Nucor's in Mason County, there'll be ancillary businesses that will locate near there, and other businesses will look at that and go, wow, like you said, if Nucor's there, then maybe there's something to offer. So it's a challenge. Now, one point I like to make is that previous Governor Justice and now Governor Morrissey and some members of the legislature, they are really, really, really focused on let's get rid of the income tax. If we just got, and Justice talked about this all the time, if we just got rid of the income tax, boy, oh boy, people would flood into West Virginia. That's not necessarily true. Taxes, that's one reason why people relocate. But there are tons of reasons why people relocate. Job opportunities, change in marital status, climate, education opportunities, the price of housing, all those kinds of things. So it's only at the margins that a bunch of people would move into West Virginia because, they have lower income taxes. Some of that will happen, but it's really at the margins.
You can read Hoppy's commentary over at the website, WVMetroNews.com. Brad McElhinny has a story this morning, Hop, about the new chief financial officer at WVU, Chris Kuborik. He was hired April 16th. In WVU with a lot of accolades, 30 years experience of fiscal experience in higher education, creative, dynamic, forward-looking, solutions-focused CFO. But just a couple of days after his hiring was announced, Ohio State University released a report into former President Walter Carter Jr. that concluded he had misused his position to seek resources from the university and key university partners for a personal associate, and that Kuborik was singled out in that report for not doing enough to either stop that or report it.
Mm-hmm.
This is it controversial? I'm not sure what to make of it, Hop.
Well, yeah, I think you can put it in the category of controversial, and it requires some depth. And by the way, McElhinny's story is really good. It really is a fair and balanced story that gets into detail about this. Is that Kuborik, how do you say his last name?
Kuborik, I believe.
That Kuborik was like a number 2 guy to President Carter at Ohio State. And President Carter, according to that report, 47-page investigative report, made all kinds of mistakes. He had some relationship with this woman, and she was going to do this podcast for Ohio State, and she was going to do all these things, and she got all these benefits from Ohio State. And it was all like, what? You know, there was no there. And so it resulted in Carter losing his job there. Mm-hmm. And this report just puts all this blame on Carter, but also it points out that Kuborik was a guy who was sort of a point guy, that Carter would say to Kuborik, make sure this happens or make sure this happens. And so what I understand is Kuborik just told WV officials and the search committee, look, I was just doing what I was told. I didn't know there was anything nefarious going on. But the report also says that Kuborik could have done more to try to nip this thing in the bud and didn't do it. Now, I've talked to WVU officials, as has Brad, and WVU officials say, look, we were aware of this. He was forthright with us about the report, what was in the report, but we think he has excellent qualifications. We stand by him. It's an excellent hire. He'll be good at his job. So WVU officials and their statement to Brad was the most that the university has said, because previously they kind of said, we stand by the hire. So they gave more details and just said, we understand, we know what's in the report, but we stand by him, think he'll do a good job, and we're not terribly bothered by what was in this report.
I read the report. It's a page turner.
It is.
Let me tell you, it's a page turner. But does one portion of a career, does that taint the entire? You've hired a lot of people, right? When you look at someone's career in its totality, do you have to take all that into consideration and go, yeah, okay, maybe he messed up here, maybe those things are right, but that's the anomaly, that's the exception, not
Yes.
It's not the baseline for the rest of the career.
That is one of the rationales by WVU, is that we've looked at the entirety of his career. He has outstanding credentials. When he was at Nebraska, he did this incredible job. We think he's already doing a great job here, going to do a great job here at West Virginia. So we're aware of the report, but we think the body of his work, the body of his life work, represents what the university believes is a solid hire. They're looking at the totality of his work, not just a couple of lines in this Ohio State report.
Is it a viable, I guess I'm asking to speculate, is it a viable excuse for someone to say, look, I was doing what the boss told me? I mean, if you told me to do something, Hop, I would do it.
Well, that's like the $1 million question, right? That's the $1 million question. And I don't know. I mean, I guess it kind of, I hate to answer it this way. I guess it depends. You know, if I ask you to do something and you don't think it's anything nefarious, you'll probably do it. But if I ask you to do something, say, Dave, create this story out of whole cloth, and it's a false story, you might say, I'm not comfortable doing it. So I guess the answer is it depends, but the bottom line is the WVU officials who've assured us they did their due diligence, they did all their research, they talked to everybody, that they are very confident that they have made a good decision in this hire.
We'll talk to Brad McElhinny. He's going to join us second hour. We'll get into some more details of the report. Before I let you go, new State of Minds episode dropping tonight?
New State of Minds. This is a fascinating one. Dave Green is from the Beckley area, and he's a mine rescue guy. That's what he does for a living. But he got interested in photography. It's a neat story how he got interested, but he got interested in photography. And he takes these amazing pictures of the night sky. And he does it with like time-lapse photography and special filters. And he does it at locations like Spruce Knob or Seneca Rocks or places like that. And he incorporates the West Virginia land topography with the sky and gets shots of the Milky Way and Orion. It is beautiful work. And he's also a mine rescue guy. And in our interview, he talked about, this emotionally charged work that he does in mine rescue underground, and then this other kind of work he does looking at the sky and shooting the night sky. Dave Green, and it's going to be released at 7:30 tonight on MetroNews Television and MetroNews Television YouTube. And I'll encourage you to give it a look. I think you'll be pleased and amazed at the work he does.
Hop, if we get too many people, there'll be too much light pollution. We won't be able to get pictures of the night sky anymore.
That's right.
Hoppy, Kercheval, read the commentary, WVMetroNews.com. New episode of A State of Minds dropping tonight on the MetroNews television app. Good to see you again, Hop.
Good to see you. Thank you, sir.
Back in a moment. We'll get to some text, 304-TALK-304. This is Talkline from the Encove Insurance Studios.
We are there for you, to care for you at the health plan. We are here for you.
For over 4 decades, we've been rooted deep inside West Virginia. Through thick and thin, supporting local families and businesses. Proudly serving your neighborhood since 1979. Your trusted partner in the community.
The health plan. We are here for you.
Hey, this is Brad Howe for your local internet provider, CityNet. Fiber is now at your front door and even in rural areas and communities across West Virginia. Thanks to broadband expansion funding, your tax dollars helped make it possible. And CityNet turned that investment into real connections for local families and businesses. Now, you can get blazing fast fiber internet with free installation, free equipment, no long-term contract, and local customer support that's always close to home. Don't settle for slow or no internet for another day. When it's high-speed internet you need, CityNet.net connects, protects, and perfects.
For over 30 years, High Technology Foundation has been committed to building a stronger West Virginia. Our mission, economic diversification. By fostering innovation and supporting tech initiatives, we pave the way for a brighter future. From cutting-edge research to tech-driven solutions, we're transforming the landscape. Join us in creating opportunities and driving progress. Let's build a diverse economy together. Visit WVHTF.org. High Technology Foundation. Shaping West Virginia's future.
You're listening to Talkline on Metro News, the voice of West Virginia.
Nasal obstruction, stuffiness, blockage. Is it allergy? Is it sinus? Odd times it may be both. The WVU Medicine Sinus and Allergy Center is a clinic where we house all specialties that take care of allergies and sinuses together. You name it, we have it. It's one-stop shopping. Anything ENT that needs done for the citizens of West Virginia, we can provide that care.
In 1914, the same year the first commercial flight soared and the Panama Canal opened, Greer Industries was born. Herbert and Agnes Greer began in Morgantown, West Virginia, striking the first pick into the limestone formation that would become the backbone of one of the state's great industrial legacies. From the roads we drive on, the buildings we build, and the communities we serve, Greer Industries has been delivering quality for decades. At Greer Industries, we've been improving lives for more than a century.
Download Metro News Television on your iPhone or Android. Search Metro News Television in your app store. Create an account today to get alerts and watch all live and archived content. Download now.
Touchdown! We're Panhandle Cleaning and Restoration, and we're gonna save you.
The region's largest restoration firm, responding from 5 locations. When disaster strikes your home or business, call Panhandle Cleaning and Restoration.
Longer days, warmer drives, and better deals at Dan Cava GMC. Hit the road in one of our new luxury GMC Acadias. Take your pick from our massive selection. Now up to $5,500 off select new Acadias and 3.9% for 60 months. The great deals continue with our large selection of quality pre-owned vehicles. All this and more at Dan Cava GMC in Bridgeport. Shop the world.
Metro News Talkline is presented by Encova Insurance, encircling you with coverage to protect what you care about most. Visit Encova.com to learn more.
Some new polling data out. Way too early polling data, but nonetheless. An Emerson College polling survey found that Vice President J.D. Vance and Secretary of State Marco Rubio are now virtually tied as the frontrunners for the GOP presidential nomination in 2028. Vance has 36% support among Republican voters. Rubio has 35%. The poll has a margin of error of 3%, so that is for all intents and purposes, a tie. The next most popular politicians, Florida Governor Ron DeSantis, UN Ambassador Nikki Haley, but they were just 5% each. So they're your two frontrunners. 2 years out, Vance and Rubio nearly neck and neck, according to this Emerson College poll. It's significant. The reason I bring it up is I find polling data to be fascinating, number one. Number two, that is a significant shift in just the last couple of months when 52% in the same poll supported Vance, 20% backed Rubio back in February. And I guess my larger point, that is how much polling changed over the course of 3 months. We have 2 years before the GOP presidential candidate singular is selected. By the way, same poll also looked at the Democrat ticket, and bottom line there is it is wide open. The Emerson College polling survey released today, found that Pete Buttigieg is your front runner right now with 18% support. Then California Governor Gavin Newsom at 16%, AOC 11%, Pennsylvania Governor Josh Shapiro, and former Vice President Kamala Harris each at 10%. Kentucky Governor Andy Beshear at 9%, 18% undecided. I would call that wide open. I would say that is wide open. Again, we got 2 years to go, but just something you can chew on in the meantime. 304-TALK, 304 is the text line, 800-765-TALK, 800-765-8255. For the 6th consecutive year, U.S. News & World Report ranks WVU Medicine, J.W. Ruby Memorial Hospital, as the #1 hospital in West Virginia. It's also recognized as high-performing in gastroenterology and GI surgery, orthopedics, and urology, and in 18 procedures and conditions. This is the highest distinction a hospital can earn for U.S. News Best Hospitals, Procedures, and Conditions ratings. Go to the website, visit wvumedicine.org. Get in a couple of texts, maybe a phone call. 800-765-TALK, 304-TALK, 304. We'll wrap up hour number 1 in a moment.
Tens of thousands of hardworking West Virginians earn their living in our state's growing natural gas industry, including thousands for Antero Resources, West Virginia's top natural gas producer. Antero's investments are boosting our local workforce and small businesses. We're proud to give back and invest locally to support West Virginia workers producing West Virginia energy. But the Mountain State's best days are ahead, and Antero Resources is just getting started. Visit AnteroResources.com to learn more.
Right now, America is hungry for energy, more power, more reliability, and more security. So here's a question worth asking. Why not coal? And why not now? West Virginia sits on one of the most abundant energy resources in the world. Generations of miners, proven infrastructure, and coal-fired power plants already delivering dependable, around-the-clock electricity. At a time when demand is surging and reliability matters more than ever, coal isn't a question mark, it's a solution. Today, there's robust support in West Virginia and Washington to strengthen American energy independence using the resources we already have. So again, we ask, why not coal? And why not now? Because when it comes to powering our homes, our hospitals, our economy, and new opportunities, West Virginia Coal is ready. A message from the Friends of Coal, powering America today and tomorrow.
You're listening to Talkline on Metro News, the voice of West Virginia.
I'm Sean Kovich, Mountaineer Golf Coach. When disaster strikes your home, business, or golf game, call the restoration company the Mountaineers call. Panhandle Cleaning and Restoration.
Leading the efforts to build a stronger West Virginia, the High Technology Foundation has a proven plan to strengthen and diversify our state's economy. The I-79 Technology Park's high-capacity infrastructure continues to attract advanced federal operations that are driving economic growth. This keeps our young, educated residents in the state and brings West Virginians home. The High Technology Foundation, building a stronger West Virginia. Learn more today at WVHTF.org.
What does it mean to lead in medicine? J.W. Ruby Memorial Hospital is the top hospital in West Virginia, nationally recognized for 3 programs in 18 procedures and conditions. But to us, leadership means being first in care, in lives saved, in lives restored. In medicine, we lead in the ways that truly matter.
You own a boat because you love spending time on the water. Choose the outboard that allows you to make the most of it. Honda Marine's legendary reliability, ease of maintenance, and powerful performance keep you going strong. And they're all backed by the peace of mind protection of the industry's best limited warranty. Visit your Honda Marine dealer today and find out why it's more than an engine. It's your time on the water.
One more point on that presidential polling. The polling looking at the probable candidates for Democrat and Republican presidential nominations in 28. Look, it's really early. It's really early. The Republican numbers, interesting because Rubio has closed the gap, at least in one poll, with J.D. Vance. The Democrats, it's all over the place. Could it be Newsom? I still think it's going to end up being AOC. I think a lot of people are not taking her seriously enough. But my point is, it is early. It is still very early. It's 28 that we're talking about. So we got to get through the midterm first, and then the campaigning will really start. But go back to 2015. 2015. Go back to 2014. This time in 2014, did you really think Donald Trump would be elected president? Twice. Heck, go back to 2022 at this point. Did you think Trump was going to be the GOP nominee again after everything that had just happened? So we'll see. Long way to go, but I found the numbers to be quite interesting. 304-TALK, 304, the text line at 800-765-8255. That is the phone number. Jackpots are growing in West Virginia. Jackpots are on the rise every week. Powerball hits Mondays, Wednesdays, and Saturdays. Mega Millions lights up Tuesdays and Fridays. That's 5 chances a week to get in on life-changing jackpots. Play in-store and online. 18 plus to play. Please play responsibly. The Powerball jackpot is $172 million. Mega Millions jackpot is $331. So go ahead, play today. Let's get in a couple of texts here. 304-TALK, 304. Hey, Dave, West Virginia voters have common sense and will not ever vote a Democratic majority in West Virginia. Don't get me wrong. Don't misconstrue what I am saying and why Democratic Party Chair Mike Pushkin, why he's optimistic. I agree with you, Texter, in that I don't see this happening anytime soon, but the table is certainly being set for Democrats to make gains. And when you are at the point the party has been in, it has been in a slide for more than a decade, any gains are positive steps forward. Any gains. And if you can surpass just picking up a seat or two, if you can get a half dozen, if you can double your numbers over in the House, that's pretty significant given what has happened the last decade. Come on back. Counties are struggling to pay their jail bills. We'll talk about that in a moment. This is Talkline on Metro News, the voice of West Virginia.
Today's Metro News television forecast is brought to you by Salango Law. Get results, not excuses.
Well, we are much drier and quieter in the forecast now. Still be mindful of some of the after effects of yesterday's very active and stormy day. Seeing some river flooding that's going on. Some stretches locally of the West Fork and Little Kanawha rivers. Minor flood stage in the forecast there. Flood warnings are out as a result. And all those yellow dots, those were preliminary severe storm reports of either damaging winds or severe level wind gusts. So we had severe thunderstorms and heavy rain on top of saturated and compromised ground. So it may have uprooted some large trees potentially yesterday. Today, a couple of isolated showers with we had a day with multiple flash flood warnings through the day that impacted the state. Nothing like that today, but with all the moisture in there, in the ground and in the air, some dense fog is possible for the next couple of mornings. Flies here by forecast. It starts at home. Tampa 89, areas of Florida. I'll be watching for chances of some heavy rain here today and heading into the weekend. From Panhandle to Panhandle, dry today and fair weather. Highs in the 70s and lows upper 40s to near 50. Eastern areas, dry as well, mostly sunny. A very small potential of an isolated shower, but no risks of flooding or flash flooding, nothing like that today. Lows in the 40s to near 50. From east to west, again, be mindful of any impacts from some of the flash flood warnings yesterday. Be mindful of any river flooding, minor flood stage today. Lows in the 40s, and to the south, dry. Be mindful of some areas of dense fog this morning and again tonight. Morning fog and then partly cloudy in Charleston. For your forecast, one very small potential of showers later next week. We're mostly dry for a while. Fair weather for the weekend, 81 on Friday and near 80 for Saturday and Sunday here in Charleston, and lows in the 50s, so we'll have high-pressure weather. Stick around for a while.
This is Ben Salango with Salango Law. Salango Law has earned a reputation for getting excellent results for our clients. With decades of experience handling thousands of cases, we know what it takes to deliver. Proudly voted Best in the Valley for 3 consecutive years by readers of the Charleston Gazette-Mail, Salango Law is deeply committed to giving back by investing in our community. From supporting local programs to making our region a better place to live, Salango Law is proud to be your trusted legal and community partner. Check us out at salangolaw.com.
MetroNews Talkline is presented by Encova Insurance, encircling you with coverage to protect what you care about most. Visit Encova.com to learn more.
Second hour of Metro News Talkline from the Encova Insurance Studios. Dave Wilson in Morgantown. TJ's taking a week off. He'll be back on Monday. 800-765-TALK's the phone number, 800-765-8255. You can text the show, 304-TALK-304. We'll get to some of those coming up in a bit. Tonya J. Powers, Fox News Radio, will join us shortly. Brad McElhinny at the bottom of the hour. Jake Link, our video producer. Ethan Collins is handling the phones. Appreciate you listening in on our great radio affiliates and watching on the Metro News TV app, Facebook Live, and YouTube Live. Back in December 2025, the Parkersburg News and Sentinel reported that Wood County had raised concerns about paying jail bills. December 2025, Wheeling Intelligencer reports Ohio County on pace to see regional jail bill nearly double. In Kanawha County, the county commission has created a task force to find ways to save on jail bills. Commissioners there described the bill as unsustainable. Here in Monongalia County, where I am located, Monongalia County jail bills estimated this fiscal year to be $1 million over budget, and a 31% increase in daily rate charged to counties looming on July 1st. My point, there is a problem. Counties are struggling to pay their jail bills. Some counties just go, can't do it, and aren't paying their jail bills. Monongalia County Commission's Tom Bloom has served on the commission. What, you've been elected 3 times? I think he's been elected 3 times. He joins me in the studios this morning. Is it 3 times you've been elected now?
Yes, 3 6-year terms. The only person ever to have been able to do that and survive.
Can't get rid of you if they tried, couldn't they, Tom? All right. Hey, before we get into jail bills, just very, very quickly, because this is a very important issue. Longtime Democrat. You've been around forever and a day. Not to age you or anything, Tom. I talked to Mike Pushkin last hour. He's very optimistic about the chances of the party picking up some seats in the legislature this year. You've been around a while. You've been in politics your entire professional career. What's your take?
Well, when I go to the National Convention of County Commissioners and I'm introduced, the first thing they say is, oh, you're the last standing Democrat from West Virginia. That is how I'm introduced. And I listened to what Mike said, and I am excited that there will be some increases, small increases, and that's the direction we need to go. But here's the number one problem, I believe, with the Democratic Party. We don't know how to identify ourselves. So what we are doing is allowing the Republican Party to identify us for us. And that's the bottom line. We have a mixture of people that right now we cannot get together. I'm considered a Kennedy Democrat. I've been from Philadelphia, very excited about that. But there are many people, let's say, in the Morgantown community that don't think I'm far left enough or far liberal. I think the bottom line is one of our biggest problems in the state of West Virginia, and I want to make it very clear, is that we need to elect leaders who will make difficult decisions and not elect politicians who do whatever the party tells them to do. And that's our problem in that state, but in both parties.
Monongalia County Commissioner, longtime Democrat Tom Bloom joins me in studios. Okay, Tom, let's get to the jail bills. Yes. Why are so many counties, and we're not talking about just the counties that are struggling, southern part of West Virginia. No. Monongalia, Wood, Kanawha, these are counties that are doing okay. Yeah. Why are they struggling? Why is Mon County struggling with jail bills?
Well, it's a little confusing, but I'll try and do the simple version of it. In 2023, House Bill 3552, county jail bills were moved to a proportional formula. Okay, each county was given so many days that they could have inmates in, and they paid up to 80%, 80% to 100, and then 120%. We were given 55,027 days, which sounds great, and the counties are ultimately responsible for housing and maintaining the inmates who are pretrial or jailed due to misdemeanor convictions. So that's the concept. What has basically happened is that the jail bill has just super skyrocketed. It went 31% base increase from $57.46 to $75.44. So in English, everyone's listening, what does that mean? In 2026, Monongalia County, based 80%, because we had never gone over 80% of those numbers, at $45.97. That's what it was back then. Cost was $2 million. So we budgeted $2.1 million. This year alone, due to the increase in costs and also due to 645 new felonies and 1,000 more misdemeanors, 4 months ago, before at the end of February, we realized we were at the $2.1 million already. So we will end up having to pay a total of $3.1 million. And to give you an idea, this is what the average monthly rate was between 2018 and 2025, $159,000 per month. We are averaging right now $270,828. So just the average now is a 58% increase. I called Kanawha County in Ben Salango, got off the phone with him yesterday. They are paying $4.8 million, or a 35% increase in 2 years. The increase is enormous, and I want it real clear that we're trying to clarify that we're not here to criticize the judicial process, the due process, or sentencing guidelines. What we're looking to do is give the process owners the tools and resources to make the wheels of justice more efficient.
So you're getting hit. It's double whammy. Sure. Per diem cost went up.
Correct.
And look, it cost a lot to operate these facilities.
Yes, it does.
But there's also more people getting arrested that have to go to jail.
Right.
That's a double whammy.
And I want it really clear. We, the three county commissioners, Sean, Jeff, and I, are not going to put people out on the streets who are violent crime, offenders. So we have, it's a catch-22. The state is saying, well, you have to limit the number of days, but we're having an increase in not only the felonies and the misdemeanors, and the police are doing their job, the prosecuting attorneys are doing their job, and what happens is the state isn't paying for it, and they pushed it down to the counties. Now, I was asked not to say it's a crisis by a number of the counties, but I disagree with them. This is a crisis, and it will be even a bigger crisis if we don't have some cost effect savings that are put into place. And the state is the only one who can do that. The other catch-22 is we make our levies and we budget that, say, around March. They did the increases afterwards. And so we know next year we put $3 million in just to play it safe. Well, just by the numbers alone, we know it's going to be $3.8 or $4 million, even if we do all these other cost-saving methods, which is what I can explain later what we're doing.
Well, what are you doing? I mentioned Kanawha County.
Sure.
They have a task force that is
Yes.
looking at this. How is Monongalia County trying to reduce cost?
What we've been meeting is the prosecuting attorney, the judge, the sheriff, the magistrate, and the county commissioners are all working together to reform how we actually look at the process. We're looking at transport fees, better metrics, days versus dollars, review timely hearings on bail bond motions, reviewing hearings of misdemeanors and setting, renewing bail, holding on major expenses. So we are reviewing every one of these individual cases to see what we can do. And again, it's just a matter of numbers. It's the cost and how many people we are incarcerating. And I want it very clear. The counties pay this bill, even though we're in the city of Morgantown, has the largest number of felons that come through our system. The cities pay only 1 day. Now, to give you an idea, I was trying to figure this out real quickly. We had 3 murders last year that we went through that took 20 months. That is 900 days we had to pay, $67,000, $986, just for those 3 felonies. And as I mentioned, we have 645 new felonies this year. The numbers, we need help, and that's why I've reached out to the state, and of course, I'm getting deaf ears.
Monongalia County Commissioner Tom Bloom joining us. That's the extreme example because,
Yes.
I mean, that could take, murders. One, you don't get bond. They're going to be in jail. It could take 2 or 3 years to get that case through trial, conviction, and that inmate transferred to the prison system.
Correct.
But what about the others? Is it possible to speed up the judicial process so people who are arrested and awaiting trial on misdemeanor charges, some of the things you can bond out on, rather than keep them in the North Central Regional Jail, in this example, for an extended period of time? Is it possible to speed up the wheels of justice?
Yes, but there's a cost to it. And I'll give an example. We just approved, Gabe Muschioli just requested 2 more assistant prosecutors and another administrative assistant. We hope that will help the process. But that's $275,000. What we are hoping to do is save the cost on the jail bill and we hire another policeman. So these are the kind of things we're trying to do. Yes, we're looking at other alternative sentencing, as we have where they walk around with,
Ankle monitor? Yeah.
An ankle monitor. But that's cost.
Mm-hmm.
So again, we are looking at all different avenues. And I have to be real careful how we say this. Not that we're throwing money away, but we have a $45 million budget. $3 million is going to put these people to stay in jail, where many of them should. Imagine what that $3 million could be doing in this county. And that's the problem. When we have to raise rates, and I just looked at, we have not raised property taxes in 10 years. And I'm looking at it, to pay this bill, we would have to go from $11 that we're the next to the lowest and go to $11 to $12 per class 1 to just pay this bill. And we aren't planning to do that, but we have to look at all alternatives. And the question is, what do other counties do if they don't have a contingency? What about these smaller counties that are facing it? And we know 3 counties are not paying the bills at all. And the majority of them are like Mon County that basically we call it a budget busting issue.
So we're talking to Monongalia County Commissioner Tom Bloom. What do you want from the state? What do you want from state lawmakers, state representatives here, Tom?
Well, I think they have to do their job. And I'll explain why. I get very frustrated, and this is personal, but I think all the commissioners are very concerned about this. When we read in the paper that, we just have a carryover $250 million. We just found another $125 million. And my answer is, of course. I could do the same thing, saying that, hey, I have an extra $10,000 in my house. I forgot to pay the mortgage. And the bottom line is, I've offered suggestions such as, when they did the 5% reduction in the personal property or the income tax. I recommended hold off 1 year. Use that funds to help the counties. Then I recommended the possibility of, instead of this such a large increase, use the funds for the increase. So at least the counties can work on establishing a system instead of being just jumped on and said, here it is, pay for it. Oh, by the way, we're raising, the per diem again.
He's Monongalia County Commissioner Tom Bloom. Many counties dealing with some of these same issues, trying to come up with creative ways to pay the jail bills. And like you said, some are just not paying the jail bills. So.
Correct. I mean, and it is. It's between this and the opioid crisis. These are our two major issues in the county. And it's time that we work together, and the legislature needs to talk with the county commissioners. And it's time that is the only way we're going to solve our problems in West Virginia.
Monongalia County Commissioner Tom Bloom. Good to see you again, Tom. Thanks for stopping by, buddy.
Hey, big news. You saw the Savannah Banana team.
I saw.
But here's
Banana
the best
Ball's
part.
coming to town.
Okay, wait. You're a baseball person.
I am.
I have to announce this. We have the Texas Tailgaters against the Indianapolis Clowns. But here's why I'm so excited. You know who the coach is of the Indianapolis Clowns?
I do not.
Ryan Howard from the Philadelphia Phillies. So I am pumped. So very excited. And let's go Mountaineers.
Hey, are you on board? I'm calling it the Granville Regional, by the way.
Yes.
Are you on board with that?
Oh, yeah.
All right.
I
There's
think
two
it's
of us
great.
on the island.
No, I think it's great. Granville, and let's do it.
Let's do it. Tom, good to see you again. Appreciate you coming
Y'all
by.
have a great day.
Take a break. Back in a moment.
Picture a community where every space tells a story. Those are the communities we're designing at ZMM Architects and Engineers. With a blend of creativity and technical expertise, we design spaces that inspire, innovate, and ignite change. From cutting-edge educational facilities to community-centric gathering spaces, we're committed to improving lives through design. Let us help you shape a brighter future for generations to come. Because at ZMM, it's more than architecture. It's about building your legacy.
We are there for you, to care for you at the health plan. We are here for you.
For over 4 decades, we've been rooted deep inside West Virginia. Through thick and thin, supporting local families and businesses. Proudly serving your neighborhood since 1979. Your trusted partner in the community.
The health plan, we are here for you.
Welcome back, class of 2011.
Most likely to be a millionaire, didn't quite make it.
Hey, reunion's not over yet.
Over here, millionaire, smile.
Make room, people.
Who is that?
Congratulations to our very own Millionaire for Life!
Never too late, man.
You could win up to $1 million every year with Millionaire for Life. Play in store or online today. West Virginia Lottery. 18 plus to play. Play responsibly.
You're listening to Talkline on Metro News, the voice of West Virginia.
Leading the efforts to build a stronger West Virginia, the High Technology Foundation has a proven plan to strengthen and diversify our state's economy. The I-79 Technology Park's high-capacity infrastructure continues to attract advanced federal operations that are driving economic growth. This keeps our young, educated residents in the state and brings West Virginians home. The High Technology Foundation, building a stronger West Virginia. Learn more today at wvhtf.org.
In 1914, the same year the first commercial flight soared and the Panama Canal opened, Greer Industries was born. Herbert and Agnes Greer began in Morgantown, West Virginia, striking the first pick into the limestone formation that would become the backbone of one of the state's great industrial legacies. From the roads we drive on, the buildings we build, and the communities we serve, Greer Industries has been delivering quality for decades. At Greer Industries, we've been improving lives for more than a century.
We're Panhandle Cleaning and Restoration, and we're gonna save you. We've got it down to a science, an absolute state of art. We do it all, restoration, cleaning, and reconstruction. When disaster strikes, just pick up the phone. We're Panhandle Cleaning and Restoration, and we're gonna save you.
Sunshine, open roads, and a new Toyota from Dan Calva Toyota World. Lease an all-new Camry for as low as $398 a month. All new Tundras now up to $8,000 off. All new Tacomas now up to $4,500 off or lease as low as $399 a month. $7,500 off the new BZ or 0% financing for 72 months. We've got a Toyota for you at Dan Cava Toyota World in Fairmont. Shop the world.
Yesterday, the head of the American Federation of Teachers, Randy Weingarten, made an announcement calling for limits on technology in schools. In a speech Wednesday, that included blocking most students from using computers in class until they reach third grade. Also addressed AI. Fox News Radio's Tonya J. Powers joins us. Tonya, good morning. What was Randy Weingarten suggesting?
Well, as you said, she's the AFT president. The American Federation of Teachers has about 1.8 million members, so it's a pretty big group. She is proposing banning student-facing AI in elementary schools, as you said, blocking most students from using computers in class until they reach the third grade, and prohibiting social companion AI chatbots until age 16. She also mentioned that she would like to see more education for teachers on how to use the AI technology. Also, any limits on using devices in school, she says, needs to be flexible so they can accommodate students with disabilities who benefit from that technology. She says she is not calling for an AI ban. She said, what I'm calling for is getting the balance right to harness the benefits of tech while mitigating the harms. This also kind of goes along with, what she's saying is it's not like nobody else is saying this, because it sort of dovetails with what a grassroots parents movement has been pushing, which is to reduce screen time in public schools. So this, could give that a lot more traction.
And Tonya, unlike a lot of things Randy Weingarten says, there's actually bipartisan support here because the Trump administration just came out recently with a Surgeon General advisory warning about screen time and AI.
Yeah, I think that's why a lot of people are really confused about how to consider this. Because everybody is so polarized. It's like, oh, well, that's a union. I don't support that. I don't support the left. I'm not a Democrat, so automatically this is going to be. Oh, wait a minute, this may not be bad. Hang on, It is causing all kinds of people to like do a double take and go, wait a second, let me actually listen to what's being said here. Which is why I said, it seems to be one of those things where. It's got this is supporting what these parents are already saying in not all parents, but some of them, like I said, they want fewer devices in schools.
Fox News Radio's Tonya J. Powers. Tonya, thank you for the update. We appreciate it.
Mm-hmm.
304-TALK, 304, the text line, 800-765-8255, the phone number. Texter says, wish more people felt like Hoppy, but the most recent primary elections show that most West Virginians only care about the social issues of the day and not growth or jobs. I understand it, and I see how you would arrive at that conclusion based on the primary results. I would be hesitant to make that assertion because 21% voter turnout in the primary. Now, that's on par with past primary elections, but also keep in mind, and very curious to see the breakdown of who voted and by who. I mean, did unaffiliated voters come out? And if they did they pick up the Democratic ballot? And what does that say? I'm interested to see what the results are in November and if we are able to discern anything from there, because poll after poll, any type of polling that has been done in West Virginia, whether we have done it with Research America and the MetroNews West Virginia poll, whether the political parties have gone out and polled, whether it is anecdotal, we get a very different story that folks are concerned about jobs. They are concerned about infrastructure. The counties are certainly concerned, as you just heard a couple of minutes ago with Tom Bloom, about how to pay the jail bills. That's not to say the social issues are not important. They are important. But they don't seem to rise to the top of the list when you actually talk to West Virginians about what is important to them, what's a priority. And part of that is because, for in large part, the social issues that were so divisive, that were put on all of the mailers that flooded your mailbox, they've been decided. They've already been addressed by the conservative Republican supermajority legislature. And we should be on to what Hoppy was talking about. How do we grow the economy? How we attract business? How business would then attract population? And then you start to see some of these problems that we talk about. Maybe we actually have some resolution to them because, as we say so often here on this program, a lot of our problems can be mitigated, maybe solved, but at least mitigated with more people. Now, that creates another set of issues, but some of the issues that we have are just simply because we don't have enough people. And I don't like people either. I'm right there with you. But we need some. 304 Talk 304, that's the text line. Coming up, Brad McElhinny is going to join us. He's got a very detailed story over at WVMetroNews.com this morning about the new chief financial officer at WVU. He was hired in April, and he comes to Morgantown with some baggage, if you will. We'll get the details from Brad coming up in just a little bit. Also, we'll get more of your text in, 304 Talk 304. That's the text line, 800-765-8255. Got a story. How dysfunctional do you have to be to want Congress to come in and regulate you? Well, there's only one entity we could be talking about. We'll get to that as well. This is Talkline on Metro News. Metro News for 40 years, the voice of West Virginia. It's 11:30. Let's get a news update from the Metro News Radio Network. Find out what's happening all across the great state of West Virginia.
Today's Metro News television forecast is brought to you by Salango Law. Get results, not excuses.
Well, we are much drier and quieter in the forecast now. Still be mindful of some of the after effects of yesterday's very active and stormy day. Seeing some river flooding that's going on. Some stretches locally, the West Fork and Little Kanawha rivers. Minor flood stage in the forecast there. Flood warnings are out as a result. And all those yellow dots, those were preliminary severe storm reports of either damaging winds or severe level wind gusts. So we had severe thunderstorms and heavy rain on top of saturated and compromised ground. So it may have uprooted some large trees potentially yesterday. Today, a couple of isolated showers with all the, and we had a day with multiple flash flood warnings through the day that impacted the state. Nothing like that today, but with all the moisture in there, in the ground and in the air, some dense fog is possible for the next couple of mornings. Flies here forecast, it starts at home. Tampa 89, areas of Florida. I'll be watching for chances of some heavy rain here today and heading into the weekend. From Panhandle to Panhandle, dry today and fair weather. Highs in the 70s and lows upper 40s to near 50. Eastern areas, dry as well, mostly sunny. A very small potential of an isolated shower, but no risks of flooding or flash flooding, nothing like that today. Lows in the 40s to near 50. From east to west, again, be mindful of any impacts from some of the flash flood warnings yesterday. Be mindful of any river flooding, minor flood stage today. Lows in the 40s, and to the south, dry. Be mindful of some areas of dense fog this morning and again tonight. Morning fog and then partly cloudy in Charleston. For your forecast, one very small potential of showers later next week. We're mostly dry for a while. Fair weather for the weekend, 81 on Friday and near 80 for Saturday and Sunday here in Charleston, and lows in the 50s, so we'll have high-pressure weather. Stick around for a while.
This is Ben Salango with Salango Law. Salango Law has earned a reputation for getting excellent results for our clients. With decades of experience handling thousands of cases, we know what it takes to deliver. Proudly voted Best in the Valley for 3 consecutive years by readers of the Charleston Gazette-Mail, Salango Law is deeply committed to giving back by investing in our community. From supporting local programs to making our region a better place to live, Salango Law is proud to be your trusted legal and community partner. Check us out at salangolaw.com.
On the next State of Minds.
I think if it wasn't for West Virginia, I wouldn't be doing what I'm doing. Rhine has been rising over Seneca Rocks for millions of years. I wanted to capture it in a way that was authentic and maybe different than people have ever seen it before.
Today, It feels like boat weather. The sun is shining. I just looked outside, didn't see a cloud in the sky. Temps in the 70s. Yeah, you've got that itch, don't you? But you don't have a fishing boat. You don't have a pontoon boat. What are you going to do? You know what to do. Go to LewindelMarineSales.com. Check out all the great deals on pontoon and fishing boats so you are ready when the weekend arrives. Lewindle Marine Sales. We sell family fun. Over at WVMetroNews.com this morning, Brad McElhinny has a very detailed story outlining the hiring of Chris Kaborik. He is the new Chief Financial Officer at WVU. His hiring was announced on April 16th and trumpeted by the university. Kaborik, 30 years of fiscal experience in higher education. The university said, "We have found a dynamic, creative, forward-looking, and solution-focused CFO." However, just a couple of days later, Ohio State University released a 47-page report concluding that its former president, Walter Carter Jr., had misused his position to, quote, seek resources from the university and key university partners for a personal associate. Now, that report was focused mainly on the actions of Carter, but did single out Kaborik and concluded that as a senior advisor to Carter, he had failed to stop or report those efforts. Brad McElhinny goes into detail, plus what the university has to say in a story right now at WVMetroNews.com. Brad joins us on Metro News Talkline. Brad, good morning. That's the overall gist. Can you give us some more idea of the role that Kaborik played in the incident or incidents at Ohio State where it was Walter Carter Jr. who was really being investigated?
Mm-hmm. Well, Kaborik has a 30-year career with a specialty in the finances of higher education. And he has done so at, big and complicated institutions like WVU, particularly at Nebraska. And Nebraska is where Kaborik first became associated with Walter Ted Carter, who became the president of Ohio State in 2024, and then brought along Kaborik at Ohio State, at the Ohio State University, as the chief financial officer there. The allegations in this 47-page report, and there are links to it at the Metro News site, are mostly focused on Carter, and they are allegations that again and again and again he tried to leverage Ohio State resources and personnel and associations and doors to benefit his special friend. And the special friend had a podcast and a website, an app that was dedicated to resources for veterans. Sounds like a good cause, but this person was not a university employee. An average member of the public should not expect any university to provide that kind of support. And it was all based on this relationship with Ohio State President Carter. The report then gets into Chris Kaborik as a secondary figure, saying that essentially casting him as an enabler, a trusted figure of Carter, who did his best to help out Carter's special friend. And it says Kaborik went far beyond any other employee in supporting Carter's efforts to assist Vlachos. That's the special friend, Kristynth Vlachos, both inside and outside the university. It goes on and says he failed to stop or report those efforts himself, and he failed to appropriately address those concerns raised to him by other employees. It's a stain on his record. He is not necessarily accused of any kind of corruption himself, but again, as being an enabler to the main character in this drama. He left Ohio State and very quickly landed at WVU. His start day is this coming Monday. He will be earning $550,000 a year. So a significant hire for the university. But we asked additional questions to say, look, did you know all this? why did WVU hire him anyway, despite knowing it all? And what other justifications does the university have for this, again, a significant hire?
So Metro News statewide correspondent Brad McElhinny joining us, talking about the new chief financial officer at WVU, Chris Kaborik. So Brad, you reached out to the university. I assume the university was aware of all of this happening at Ohio State during the hiring process, but what did university officials say to you when you asked these questions?
Well, this Ohio State report is a very recent stain, but WVU emphasized Kaborik's 3-decade history with significant, complicated, big, major land-grant universities like Nebraska and Ohio State, to say that he can bring that experience to bear, and the experience itself, WVU will benefit. They said that kind of extensive experience matters. Furthermore, WVU went a little further than it had before to say that Kaborik, in the interview process with the search committee at WVU, fully disclosed to the university in the interview process that there would be this Ohio State report, and offered his perspective, which differs from what Ohio State concluded, the other side of the story. And then finally, he developed a trusting relationship with WVU President Michael Benson and other members of the search committee. Finally, WVU conducted its own background checks and reference checks, and they came back glowing about that 30-year history with finances in higher education. So, WVU is indicating that it knows all this recent history associated with Ohio State President Carter, but believes that it's got the right guy for this important role with WVU's finances in any case. And it hasn't been that long since WVU's finances were notably shaky. That was a running news story for a year or so. And to have the right person with the right background and the right skills to make sure those finances are solid, it's a key hire.
Metro News statewide correspondent Brad McElhinny. We were talking to Hop about this in the last hour a little bit, Brad, and he brought up the point that kind of the point the university is emphasizing as well, that over the course of the 30-year career, whatever happened at Ohio State and is outlined in that report, that is a portion of an otherwise stellar 30-year career and not necessarily a disqualifying circumstance there for bringing him in, looking at the totality. And here's Hop. He's a guy who's hired a lot of people, Brad. He knows about disqualifying circumstances. So I guess what I'm saying is it's a notable incident, but at the same time, it doesn't necessarily define the entire career of a guy who has a pretty impressive resume in higher education.
Mm-hmm. Nebraska, there have been some news stories. Nebraska is going to and taking a look at the past history of both Carter and Kaborik at that institution. What matters, I think, is this can be forgotten, especially at WVU, but it's important for Kaborik to maintain a spotless record there and to not get into trouble, especially, in the coming couple of years. At both institutions, Ohio State and now WVU, the contract, Kaborik has served at the will and pleasure of the president. Now, you can imagine that if your boss, the president of the university, were asking you to try to be as helpful as you can to someone, I think you'd try to do it, especially if you knew that you're serving at the will and pleasure. Did he go too far here? Yeah, maybe so. Part of a outcome I think that's up ahead depends on Michael Benson, the relatively new WVU president. If he doesn't try to bend the ethical standards and doesn't ask people like Kaborik to do things that are comparable, then I think that there's a great chance that Kaborik maintains a good track record at West Virginia's flagship academic institution. But to me, that serving at the will and pleasure, it would be natural to do what you can to try to placate whoever's asking you to do these things within the bounds of whatever ethical considerations.
And Brad, talking to MetroNews statewide correspondent Brad McElhinny, I think that is a great point you bring up, because Michael Benson, since he's arrived here in Morgantown, has done, I think, an exemplary job of stepping into the role, Gordon Gee's old shoes, if you will, stepping in as president. He has pushed the right buttons. I think he is a forward-thinking president that has been successful throughout his career and certainly has benefit of the doubt. There's no reason to believe that Michael Benson's going to get Kevork into any sort of trouble. And if he's the standard bearer, he is the guy that's piloting the ship, I'm comfortable with it.
Benson, I think, has already established a good reputation. He's doing a really energetic and exemplary job of getting around the state and making sure people know him and what he's all about. But he needs to maintain that. And, this is a signature hire for him. It's like if the new athletic director were hiring the football coach or the basketball coach, a signature hire. And they both need to make sure that they're staying out of trouble together.
You can read the story in great detail over at the website, wvmetronews.com. And we have reached out and invited Dr. Benson on Talkline. It's an open invitation, but we have reached out to him, and he is welcome any time to share his thoughts on this story and more. Before I let you go, Brad, any update on As the Greenbrier Turns today?
Yeah, news story on the website, and the justices, through their lawyers, under a court order, have submitted a redacted term sheet for the financing that they say is going to resolve this issue. Might be out of the frying pan and into the fire, because they will be taking on up to $500 million in debt to pay down this other loan that they don't want to be a part of. So they'd be getting into, essentially a refinancing agreement. And this term sheet that is now part of the court record is heavily redacted, but reveals the lender for the first time. It is a New York-based company founded in 2017, Kennedy Lewis Investment Management, which is described as an alternative asset management firm focused on opportunistic and private credit. It frequently invests in distressed debt. This is some distressed debt, I think. And focuses on situations driven by events. So more on what we know about this potential financing arrangement, again, up to $500 million.
You can read that at the website, wvmetronews.com. Brad, always great work. Thank you very much, buddy. Appreciate it.
Oh, thanks. Bye.
We'll get some text in at 304-TALK, 304. Phone number is 800-765-TALK. CityNet is West Virginia's local internet provider. High-speed, reliable fiber internet is probably right at your front door. And now is the perfect time to connect. CityNet makes that investment a reality. Tax dollars are helping to expand broadband access across West Virginia. Not to mention local customer support you can trust. Perfect for streaming or gaming. Nice way to take some time and relax. Fast, reliable fiber internet built for everyday life. When it's high-speed internet you need, citynet.net connects, protects, and perfects.
Right now, America is hungry for energy, more power, more reliability, and more security. So here's a question worth asking. Why not coal? And why not now? West Virginia sits on one of the most abundant energy resources in the world. Generations of miners, proven infrastructure, and coal-fired power plants already delivering dependable, around-the-clock electricity. At a time when demand is surging and reliability matters more than ever, coal isn't a question mark, it's a solution. Today, there's robust support in West Virginia and Washington to strengthen American energy independence using the resources we already have. So again, we ask, why not coal? And why not now? Because when it comes to powering our homes, our hospitals, our economy, and new opportunities, West Virginia Coal is ready. A message from the Friends of Coal, powering America today and tomorrow.
Tens of thousands of hardworking West Virginians earn their living in our state's growing natural gas industry, including thousands for Antero Resources, West Virginia's top natural gas producer. Antero's investments are boosting our local workforce and small businesses. We're proud to give back and invest locally to support West Virginia workers producing West Virginia energy. But the Mountain State's best days are ahead, and Antero Resources is just getting started. Visit Antero enteroresources.com to learn more.
Approach your retirement with confidence. With over 150 years of combined experience, the advisors of the Stike team at Wealth Enhancement Group provide advice and wealth management strategies to individuals, families, small businesses, professional offices, and institutions. With the Stike team, you'll have access to an advising team with extensive resources, a client-first mindset, and a passion for helping transform the lives of those we serve. Visit wealthenhancement.com/Stike today and join the team that's dedicated to your success.
You're listening to Talkline on Metro News, the voice of West Virginia.
In 1914, the same year the first commercial flight soared and the Panama Canal opened, Greer Industries was born. Herbert and Agnes Greer began in Morgantown, West Virginia, striking the first pick into the limestone formation that would become the backbone of one of the state's great industrial legacies. From the roads we drive on, the buildings we build, and the communities we serve, Greer Industries has been delivering quality for decades. At Greer Industries, we've been improving lives for more than a century.
What does it mean to lead in medicine? J.W. Ruby Memorial Hospital is the top hospital in West Virginia, nationally recognized for 3 programs in 18 procedures and conditions. But to us, leadership means being first in care, in lives saved, in lives restored. In medicine, we lead in the ways that truly matter.
Stay ahead of West Virginia weather with Metro News Television, now bringing you a new way to stay informed across the Mountain State. Get updates daily at 9, noon, and 4, from headlines and precipitation to severe weather threats and highs and lows. See conditions from panhandle to panhandle and check travel with the Fly CRW forecast. Our meteorologists are on your screens and on Talkline, Midday, Hotline, and Sportsline, keeping you up to date. Metro News Television weather, accurate, local, and always on.
Longer days, warmer drives, and better deals at Dan Cava GMC. Hit the road in one of our new luxury GMC Acadias. Take your pick from our massive selection. Now up to $5,500 off select new Acadias and 3.9% for 60 months. The great deals continue with our large selection of quality pre-owned vehicles. All this and more at Dan Cava GMC in Bridgeport. Shop the world.
MetroNews Talkline is presented by Encova Insurance, encircling you with coverage to protect what you care about most. Visit Encova.com to learn more.
304 Talk 304 is the text line. Clean water, clean air, school systems, walkable, bike trails, crime, cool restaurants, bars, says the texter. I assume those are your priorities when you go to the polls. Could it be as simple as the best candidates won for judge? Sure it can. Sure it can be that simple. But usually, generally speaking, to use 2 adverbs back to back, there are a number of factors that go into why a particular candidate won and a particular candidate did not. But yes, it could be just as simple as those are the best candidates. Sure. But it all depends on what you think are the best candidates, I guess, as to whether or not the best candidates won. 304 Talk 304. I believe people leave because we do have corrupt politicians, and many, not all, are in it for something other than the people. Our governor is just out to make a name for himself, and the easiest place to get it was West Virginia. 304 Talk 304. Hey, I can personally vouch that military folks planning their retirement years rule out moving to West Virginia specifically because of state taxes. How? Well, during the out processing from active duty, every military member goes through a class where a cost of living analysis is performed, and West Virginia always ranks very low on the list, while Alaska, Florida, Texas, and Tennessee are at the top of the list. It's simple. Folks that are not from here don't simply choose to move here. 304 Talk 304. Andy Beshear will be elected president in 2028. Got to get through the primary process first. Yeah, I got time for this. Response to growth. I'm a lifelong Eastern Panhandle resident. I find it comical how the rest of the state is all about our growth now that the money and jobs are here. These are the same people in the 80s and 90s that cut the Eastern Panhandle of the weather maps on local television stations and would ask us where the Panhandle is. This happened year after year when attending the state basketball tournament at the Civic Center. Our growth is coming from D.C. metro area, not from Charleston help. But it is funny how everyone knows where we're at when the cash is flowing through the Panhandle. Why should we care about the rest of the state's problems now? Have a great day. You too. 304 Talk 304. I think Mark Kelly is setting up to run for president. I think the matchup will be Marco Rubio and Mark Kelly. All right, mark it down. You write that down, Jake, so we can remember from the texter. Actually, texter, remember that. If we're both still around in 28 doing the show, remind me. Dave, so seriously, when's the first pitch at the Granville Regional Baseball Championship? Keep dying on that hill, says the texter. First pitch will technically be noon. That'll be Wake Forest and University of Kentucky. WVU and Binghamton will be at 5 o'clock tomorrow afternoon. We're going to talk a little baseball on the show tomorrow. Retired Mountaineer baseball coach Randy Mazey going to join us tomorrow. We'll talk about his experience when WVU hosted the regional back in 2019. We'll talk a little baseball as well. All right, final break. Back to wrap things up in a moment. This is Talkline from the Encova Insurance Studios.
WVU Medicine is home to West Virginia's first and only multi-organ transplant center, making heart and kidney transplants at an academic medical center a reality for people across the state and region. Whether you've struggled with advanced heart failure or kidney disease, the WVU Medicine Transplant Alliance helps people like you find hope and healing on their journey to better health. Visit wvumedicine.org/transplant to learn more.
This boating season, elevate your family time with Lou Wendell Marine Sales. Proudly family-owned for over 40 years, Lou and his sons are West Virginia's largest Avalon pontoon dealer. Trusted experts in premium boats, motors, and service. Discover refined comfort, elegant design, and performance you can feel. Now is the perfect time to take advantage of preseason savings. At Lou Wendell Marine Sales, they don't just sell boats. They sell family fun. Visit LouWendellMarineSales.com because the weekend's almost here.
Welcome back, class of 2011.
Most likely to be a millionaire, didn't quite make it. Hey, reunion's not over yet.
Over here, millionaire, smile.
Make room, people.
Who is that?
Congratulations to our very own Millionaire for Life.
Never too late, man.
You could win up to $1 million every year with Millionaire for Life. Play in store or online today. West Virginia Lottery. 18 plus to play. Play responsibly.
You're listening to Talkline on Metro News, the voice of West Virginia.
I'm Sean Kovich, Mountaineer Golf Coach. When disaster strikes your home, business, or golf game, call the restoration company the Mountaineers call. Panhandle Cleaning and Restoration.
What does it mean to lead in medicine? J.W. Ruby Memorial Hospital is the top hospital in West Virginia, nationally recognized for 3 programs in 18 procedures and conditions. But to us, leadership means being first in care, in lives saved, in lives restored. In medicine, we lead in the ways that truly matter.
Leading the efforts to build a stronger West Virginia, the High Technology Foundation has a proven plan to strengthen and diversify our state's economy. The I-79 Technology Park's high-capacity infrastructure continues to attract advanced federal operations that are driving economic growth. This keeps our young, educated residents in the state and brings West Virginians home. The High Technology Foundation, building a stronger West Virginia. Learn more today at WVHTF.org.
You own a boat because you love spending time on the water. Choose the outboard that allows you to make the most of it. Honda Marine's legendary reliability, ease of maintenance, and powerful performance keep you going strong. And they're all backed by the peace of mind protection of the industry's best limited warranty. Visit your Honda Marine dealer today and find out why it's more than an engine. It's your time on the water.
Jackpots are growing in West Virginia. Jackpots are on the rise every week. Powerball hits Mondays, Wednesdays, and Saturdays. Mega Millions lights up Tuesdays and Fridays. That's 5 chances a week to get in on life-changing jackpots. Play in-store and online. 18 plus to play. Please play responsibly. Powerball jackpot's $172 million. Mega Millions jackpot is $331, so go ahead, play today. I'll save the story about the most dysfunctional organization in the country. We'll get to that tomorrow on the program. State Attorney General J.B. McCuskey is scheduled to stop by. Randy Mazie, Chris Steiwalt's on the list for tomorrow as well. Before we go, just want to give a quick shout-out to Phil down at Daniels in Morgantown. Phil, got me hooked up with some shirts. We are doing away with the out-of-work JV football coach look. Or at least we're going to try our best, aren't we, Phil? But big shout-out to you. Had a lot of fun down there the other day. Appreciate you helping out the Fashion Challenged here on the program. All right, have a great day. Follow all the action at the high school softball state tournament at WVMetroNews.com. We'll talk to you tomorrow morning at 10:06. This is Talkline on Metro News. For 40 years, the voice of West Virginia.